and I were in our early 20s when we decided to spend a few days camping in the wilds of Colorado. We'd done plenty of outdoor trips before, but nothing prepared us for what happened in Urpo Forest. Cody had been there once, but it was my first time. We chose a weekday to avoid the crowds, parked near a picnic area, and hiked about 15 minutes into the woods to set up camp. The spot we found was picture perfect, a small clearing with just enough room for our tents and a fire pit. Cody, ever the Eagle Scout, had his tent pitched in minutes. I fumbled with mine, cursing under my breath as he laughed. Eventually I got it up, and we spent the rest of the evening gathering wood, grilling burgers, and cracking open beers by the fire. The smell of pine mixed with smoke, the sound of classic rock hummed softly from a speaker, and for a while the world felt peaceful. But then the night came alive. It started with a sound, low, melodic, almost a hum. At first I thought it was the wind, but then came the unmistakable crunch of footsteps in the underbrush. Cody killed the music, and we both froze. The silence that followed felt heavier than the darkness around us. "Grab the flashlight," Cody whispered. By the time I found it, the sounds were gone. We tried to laugh it off, convincing ourselves it was just an animal. But then, as we were halfway through a game of Uno, a thick stick landed in the center of our camp. It didn't fall from a tree, it was thrown. Cody shot up, shining the flashlight into the woods. "Hey!" he shouted, his voice slicing through the night. "Whoever's out there, knock it off!" The only reply was the faint sound of footsteps retreating into the trees. I wanted to leave. Every fiber of my being screamed to pack up and go, but Cody shook his head. Hiking out now would be stupid. Too many ways to get hurt in the dark. We agreed to take shifts keeping watch. Cody stayed up first, armed with a book and a can of bear spray, while I crawled into my tent, clutching my own can tightly. Sometime later, I woke up. Something was off. My eyes adjusted to the darkness, and that's when I saw it. A figure standing at the entrance to my tent, unmoving, just watching. I thought it was Cody. "Is it my turn?" I whispered groggily. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it zipped my tent shut and melted into the shadows. A wave of cold dread crashed over me as I realized the truth. That wasn't Cody. My heart thundered in my chest as I unzipped my tent and scanned the campsite. The fire was embers, the clearing eerily quiet. Cody's tent was zipped shut. Panicked, I scrambled over and yanked it open. There he was, fast asleep in his sleeping bag. I shook him awake, my voice trembling. "Cody, someone was just here." His face went pale. He admitted he'd fallen asleep during his shift. Grabbing his bear spray, he told me to sleep in his tent with him. But I needed my sleeping bag, so I darted back to grab it. That's when I heard it again. The humming. It was closer this time, weaving through the trees, hauntingly steady. "Get back here," Cody hissed. I didn't need to be told twice. We zipped ourselves into his tent, bear sprays in hand, and stayed awake, listening. Every snap of a twig or rustle of leaves felt like it was right outside. We didn't sleep. We couldn't. By dawn, we were packed and ready to go in minutes. Neither of us spoke much as we hiked back to the car. The forest felt different in the daylight, less threatening but no less eerie. It's been 6 years since that trip. Cody's asked me to go camping with him a few times since, but I always say no. I still hear that humming in my nightmares. Sometimes I wonder if it was just some disturbed person messing with us. But deep down, I know there's more out there than we understand. Things that watch, wait, and remind you that the woods are their domain. And you're just a visitor.